government is trying to harmonize. The government is trying to harmonize all the taxes such that if anybody comes in to invest, it won't be that they be going from one agency to the other in order for them, in order for them to pay. So they are trying to harmonize all of those things. So in terms of payment of taxes, is one of the one of the indicators that they use. They also use how starting a business, how easy or how hard it is. That also is done. How also easy it is to trade across borders. When you look at Nigeria, we have 36 states. How easy it is to if the headquarters of your business is in Lagos, how easy it is to go and start a branch or another one in Kano. How easy it is to go to the east. How easy to go to the north central, and on like that. The other one also is about how long it takes to register a business, how long it takes. They also want to know how their business will be protected at the end of the day, how it will be protected. These are some of the things that are taken into consideration when they are looking at the ease of doing business. The ease of doing business. And one other thing that you will see there is just that. Bring that book for me. So you will see some statistics that I gave there. You will see some statistics as far back as 19 to 2016, in terms of how Nigeria was ranked. Nigeria was ranked 169 out of 190 countries. 37th out of 48 countries in Africa. In terms of ranking, if you go down also, even in sub-Sahara Africa also, how Nigeria was also ranked. The world has launched the business. Okay, you also see that. So the other thing that you will see in that place are just some statistics. But I try to check also, our ranking also. When you look at even Nigeria also, it's not just about foreign investor coming to Nigeria. Even different states in Nigeria, they are also ranked in terms of the ease of doing business, in different states. And the top five performing states in Nigeria, they are Lagos. Lagos is where everybody wants to go, because of the fact that it's the economic hub of Nigeria. It's the 5th largest economy in Africa. So Lagos, Kaduna, Oyo, FCT, and Ogun State, these are top 5 most performing states. So it's not just about it's not just about rating Nigeria as as a whole, but even in terms of what is it called now, even rating different states also. Different states are also rated in terms of ease of doing business. The last one we are going to look at is Nigeria, the terrorism index. That's the last one we are going to consider, terrorism index. Look at terrorism index. This aspect is also very, very important, because especially when you consider there are some countries of the world that people will have to think twice, for them to go, and who want to take his money now and go to, and wants to go to Iran to go and invest. When you consider what is going on presently, who want to go to Afghanistan to go and invest? who want to go to Palestine now? Even people will find it very difficult to go to Israel to go and invest now, to go and put their money because of the various terrorist activities. Nigeria also is not exempted when you consider what has been happening in recent time. Foreigners being kidnapped, Nigerians, students, everyone being kidnapped. Almost every day there is one terrorist attack in one place or the other. It used to be restricted to northwest some years back, but at a point the thing spread to northeast, north central. Now it's coming to the south now, and people are saying the way it is going, if government does not step in quickly, now the entire country will be engulfed by it, but God forbid. And thank God that our security outfit, they are doing their best. They are doing so terrorism index also is very, very key when it comes to how healthy, because it is it is in a state of it is when a country is peaceful that people will be willing to bring their money to invest. It is when things it is when people are not scared, not afraid. That is when there will be that confidence to bring their money in, to bring their money. So that's why this also is very, very important. The Global Terrorism Index measures the direct and indirect impact of terrorism, and this include its effect on the life lost. It includes injuries, properties damage, psychological after effect. These are things that are involved when we talk about, because lives are lost in the process, properties are damaged. You can imagine most of those communities where those Boko Haram, the rest of where they attack, they kill, they maim, they destroy houses, they destroy farms, they destroy many properties are destroyed in you know in the process. How about the psychological effect is also there. People cannot sleep with their two eyes closed. It's no it it is it's a big problem. It is a big problem. It is a big problem. It's a composite score that ranks countries according to the impact of terrorism. They usually rank it from 0 to 10. 10 is the highest impact, where 0 is no impact at all, where terrorism does not have any impact. Terrorism in Nigeria has taken a new dimension. That was what I just explained. The number of terrorist groups that have been increasing in recent time. It used to be during Obasanjo regime, it used to be Boko Haram, but now we are hearing of recently the ones that attack the Orire local government. We've not heard about that group before. Ansaru group, they call themselves. So we have ISWAP, we have HIPOP, we have killer herdsmen also. All different groups perpetrating evil in different parts of the countries. What are some of the impacts of terrorism? Some of the impacts include food shortage, because presently one of the reasons why we are having food shortage in Nigeria is because most farmers cannot go to their farm anymore because of these terrorists. It has become very, very difficult to go to the farm. And once farmers are not able to produce, I'm sure you can understand what is going to be dislocation of social life. That's why we now have IDPs. Over 2 million people are in IDP, internal displaced people, IDPs. We have many people. They are the people that have been displaced out of their, where they usually, reside. They have been displaced. Civil strife, people fighting themselves, community fighting one another, armed banditry, all of them, armed banditry. So, and this also paralyze social economic activities. there was a particular community that was shown, I think it is in Zamfara, where when they got to that particular village, the entire village, has been deserted completely. Completely deserted. Everybody has run away because they heard that these people are coming to attack them. So, and that definitely paralyzed everything, all economic activities as far as that. And ultimately, foreign investment will suffer. There are people that want to bring in their money to come and invest who will think twice. That's why most people who are bringing their money to Nigeria now, they are not bringing it for production activities. They are bringing it, as a portfolio investment. Portfolio, what I mean by when I say portfolio investment is that they are bringing it to invest in, in our different instruments, treasury bills, bonds, where they know their money is more safer. Most people don't want to bring, even imagine most of our network provider also, some of their installations have been vandalized in the past. So definitely many people will not want to, will not want to bring their money in such a particular, to such a particular place. Global Terrorism Index is a report. It's usually published by annually by Institute for Economics and Peace. That is the organization that publishes every. And the index provides a comprehensive summary of the key global trends and patterns in terrorism. And they have been doing this one since 2000. And their attempt is actually to systematically, rank nations of the world according to terrorist activities. And like I said, the index combines a number of factors that are associated with terrorist attack, and it is just to paint, a picture of the impact of terrorism. And when you look down also, you will see some statistics which I made also. In a given year is based on scoring system accounting for the relative impact of incident in the year. There are basically four indicators also that are, which are used for countries' yearly score. Number one, total number of terrorist incidents in a year. They look at it, and if you look at Nigeria, even this year alone, imagine the number of places they have attacked. Imagine communities that have been, imagine the number of kidnappings that has happened in different places, total number of terrorist activities, total number of fatalities caused by terrorism. I'm sure you still remember the teacher in Oire local government that was beheaded. While in captivity for 53 days also, they kill another teachers also. Thank God for that they're able to rescue the children and the others. And just like that, in different places, the retired general also that was killed in the process. Retired general that was also kidnapped and killed in the process. So the number of fatalities, that is caused by terrorism, total number of injuries caused by terrorism, all of these are things that are accumulated together to rate different countries of the world. Terrorism index in Nigeria decreased to 8.31 in 2019 from 8.60 in 2018. But the most recent report, I'm talking about 2024-2025, placed Nigeria as the sixth most terrorized, the most impacted countries globally. And the reason is because of the ongoing insurgency. In fact, even in 2026, when I try to look at the current statistics also, 2026 Global Terrorism Index, Nigeria has moved from the sixth position to the fourth position. From 2025, we are in the sixth position. But 2026, we have moved up. That means that we are the fourth most terrorized country in the world presently. And that is very huge. And that's because of the number of killings, number of the activities of all of these terrorist groups. Top 5 most terrorized nations presently are Pakistan, Burkina Faso, Niger, Nigeria, Mali, Syria. So these are top most terrorized countries in the world. So that is about economic indices. That's the economic indices. Actually, my intention tonight was that once I quickly finish this, because I still have one topic left, which I'm supposed to handle. I was thinking that I will just start that off, but with the time already fast spent, we still have a topic on business and management, uh, management strategy formulations. We still have a topic in that direction. We still have that, we still have that topic. Is Ruth online? Ruth, unmute yourself, talk to me. Ruth,
I'm with you, sir.
you are
I'm
with
with you,
me.
sir.
Okay, what I'm saying is that I
Good
still
evening,
have a
sir. I'm
particular.
with you. Yes.
I'm listening. I'm not
Yes, yeah.
hearing
We can
you.
still schedule another class next week, Saturday, since
Okay, so I
we can
think
still
we should
schedule
stop
another class,
for.
sir.
Okay. So let's just
No, we
stop
can't stop now.
because
We still
time is
have
fast.
like 30 minutes, sir.
You still
We still
have
have like 30 minutes, so we can round up. 30 minutes, so we
how
can
many
round up
minutes?
with this one. 30.
You say what?
30 minutes, sir.
How many minutes do we have?
30 minutes. 30
Okay,
minutes.
you say I should go ahead. Okay, there's no problem. Let me just
Thank you.
stop these slides. Let me try. Let me try and see if I can put up the other. Let me try and put up the last slides so that if I can do the next 10,
Okay,
15 minutes, and I can do the next, let me just open the topic and then see, and then we'll call it a night. Strategy.
yes. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank
I'm
you, sir.
coming. Let me try and put up the slides. Okay, I think that's the slides. Let me just do a quick introduction. Now, what we want to look at here, this one is business and management strategy formulation. That is what we want to look at. Strategy formulation. Strategy formulation, they are undertaken by the management of an organization. Like they're actually undertaking. That's why it is business. That's why it is management strategy formulation, because that strategy is undertaken by the management of the company, by the management, and it is in relation to the business operation of that particular company, or that particular or that particular organization. So, and that's why it is defined. He said strategy formulation is the process. Understand that the process is not a one-time thing. It's a process which we are going to look at the steps as we move on. It's the process, and that process is to establish the goals, to establish the mission, to establish the objectives of an organization. That is what the strategies is about. It is to determine and establish the goals, one, the missions of the organization, and then the objectives. Not just establish, because you can have goals, you can have missions, and you can have objectives, and yet that business or that organization will still fail. But beyond establishing those goals and missions, that also embedded in the strategy or in the formulation is the ability to be able to identify the best plans of action. The best plan. When you talk about best plan, or when you talk about the best course of action, what that implies is that there are other options. There are other available options. But among the various available alternatives that are available, you are now identifying the best plan of actions that will help you in achieving your strategy. I think let me repeat myself so that you understand what we are looking at. Like I said, strategy formulation, is undertaken by the management of an organization, and that has to do with in respect of the business operations. And I said it is the process, and that process involves establishing goals, the mission, the objectives of the organization. And I said it does not end there. And also being able to identify the best course of action or the best plan of action among all available alternatives, among all available options, and the best of the strategies that will help that organization to achieve their set out goals, their missions, and the objectives. We're still going to look at all of that. And there are specific results that our organization anticipates, which they can only achieve by following specific routes. Specific results. If the result that the organization wants is increase in sales, there are routes that organization must follow in order to achieve it. If it is to be able to increase their share of the market, there are specific routes, specific routes they have to take depending on what the organization is set out to achieve, or what they are anticipating for what they are going to. And that's why they must work within a particular specific framework. The strategic formulation also is also, you may also see in some other places referred to as strategic planning. It follow the same concept, it follow the same follow the same thing. Like I said, the essence at the end of the day is to achieve better results, achieve better operations, to make to have better operations as far as that particular organization is concerned. So that's what strategy. Now there are three levels of strategic or strategy formulation. There are three levels. I will just quickly look at them. There are three levels, and the first one is the corporate level strategy. The corporate. When you say corporate, you are talking of the entire. You are looking at the entire thing, the entire business organization, the entire thing. That is what you are looking at. And at this level, at the level of the corporate level, this level outlines what that organization wants to achieve, what they want to achieve as a corporate entity, what they want to achieve. And is it they want to, is their goal growth? Is it that they want to grow? They want to expand? Is it in terms of growth, in terms of expansion, increasing their uh, how do I put it now? Like I said, expanding from one, it could be from one state to another. It could be increasing the number of places where their products and what have you. Is it in terms of stability? Stability, is it in terms of acquisition, and so on and so forth. So these are things that will be outlined when it comes to corporate level strategy. There is a business level strategy. These levels try to answer questions of how you are going to compete, because you are not looking at the business itself now, not the entire, because in a particular organization they can have different businesses that they are involved in. So they have to look at each of them in terms of how they will be able to compete with others. This plays a role in those organizations. We have smaller unit of businesses, like as I said, smaller units, smaller units of business, all of that one. So the third one is functional level strategy. This one is broken down now. We have looked at the corporate level, we have looked at business level. The functional level now is looking at the various units, the various departments within that organization. And that's why this level concentrates on how an organization is going to grow. It defines daily actions, including allocation of resources to deliver corporate and business level strategy. So this talks about the subunit of the organization, because it is what the subunit does that will reflect at the corporate level. Because it is at the subunit level that resources will be allocated, and it is what they are able to do with those subunit level that will reflect, as far as the corporate level is concerned. So these are three levels of strategy formulation. Let me look at one of the steps of effective strategy formulation. I will stop there for tonight. I will look at the first one. When we meet, we will conclude with that. Let me just look at these 4 steps for an effective. If, like I said at the beginning, I said it's a process. It's not an event. It's not something that just happens once. It's a process, and the various steps is what you want to do. That is how you'll be able to come up with a good strategy formulation. The first one is to define the organization and its environment. If you remember when we are talking about ease of doing business, the environment becomes very, very important. The environment where a business is operating is very, very important. If the environment is not conducive, the likelihood is that that business will not survive. If the environment is very harsh and very difficult, the possibility is that that business will struggle and we ended up. So that's why the environment is very, very important. What are some of the things that that we look at this? I'm talking of the point of interest. What are some of the things that will be considered under this? There are about 4 of them, which I will look at, and then we'll call it a night. The first one is the target market. The target market. The target market. This one has to do this has to do with being able to clearly identify and define the particular group that you target. That is your target market. This is where demography becomes very, very important, because we want to know, are you targeting, your target is it on the basis of gender? Are you looking at at female, the female gender, or are you targeting the male gender? Are you considering the young people? Are you considering elderly people? You must be able to define it. You must be able to identify and define it. who your target audience, who are the people you are out to, you are out to serve, the people, the kind of people you want to. Are you looking at people who are working, the business people? Are you considering the people who are involved in, in the tech industry? Are you considering the literate or the illiterate? Different categories like that, but this must be specifically identified, and you must be able to define that. That is the first one. The second one here is the second one here is your customers. The customers are the end users of your services. They are the end user of your products. They are the end user of what you are bringing to the market. Those are your customers. You need to know who are they. You need to know who are those people. Where are they located? If your customers are located in a particular, I have seen people who set up a business center within a particular area where there are no students. Definitely that is going to die naturally. And that's why anybody that want to set up such a business needs to know, needs to identify where students are located and then locate such a business there. So you need to know who are they, who are they, how, what you are offering them, how do they perceive it? Are they enjoying any value? Do they have the right perception about your product? What is their purchasing decision? How are they purchase? Is it something that they just purchase once and then that is the end? Is there a repeat purchase? Why do they purchase your product or your services? You must know. Is it because somebody introduced it to them? Is it because it's satisfying their needs? These are things, and there are better ways to do this. That's why survey becomes very, very important. That's why you find people, they go to the market, they do survey. They want to know, they want to hear from their customer. How are they? Sometimes they do online survey and what have you. So all of these things, that is the second thing that are of interest when you are talking about your environment. When you want to define that organization and the environment of the organization. The third one is offerings. Offering is talking about the products or services that you are selling to the customers. The product or services that are selling to the customer, that is the offering. And you need to ask yourself the question, do they offer value to the customers? What you are selling, do they offer value to the customer? Does the value meet their perceived value? The value that you are offering them, does it meet with what they desire? How does the price affect its value? This is where your product pricing also comes into play. How do you price it? And that's why you must understand your competitors in that particular market. Because if you price your own product too high than the other ones, those ones that are priced lower will definitely chase you out of the market. Because whichever way you want to look at it, you are offering the same thing, you are giving the same value, and your own product is much, at least in terms of price, is much higher. People will go for the cheaper ones. So and that's why, how does the price affect its value? Even if what you are offering is is of high quality, you must still be very, very careful in the price at which you are offering it, because that will still go a long way at the end of the day. What are the end benefits that these products and services have that convince your customer to buy them again? What you are doing, you know will people come back again to buy it based on the value, based on the benefit that is given to them? The final one there is adaptation to changes and challenges. Let me say this, that environment where let me say a business environment is dynamic. Business environment is not static, it's always changing. Changes come from different areas. Changes can be in terms of technology. New technologies are coming up. Changes in terms of, today now everybody is talking about AI. Today is about network market. It's about e-marketing, electronic marketing, and what have you. People are now going beyond physical shops now. They're taking their product online. These are changes that are taking place in a business environment. And it is the ability of that company or that business organization to adapt and to change that will determine its sustainability, whether they'll be able to continue or whether they'll be able to meet up with the competition as far as that environment is concerned. So that's why business environment, like I said, they are unstable. And that's why companies must come up with strategies to be able to adapt quickly and effectively. And the most common one is what happened during the COVID period. The COVID affected so many businesses because of the lockdown and people cannot go out and what have you. And many businesses collapsed in the process. But there were some other ones that quickly adjusted. They quickly adapted. They started, some, and I know even all these technology we are using today is because of COVID-19. Before 2019, online classes are so limited. But it was during COVID that most institutions, because they needed to engage their students, that was when we now have all these platforms, Zoom, Google Meet, different kind of platforms now that people can use now, that irrespective of distance or wherever you are, people can come together, still have their meetings, still do whatever they need to do. So that also is very, very, when it comes to environment, it is how quickly a business is able to adapt to changes, how they're able to adapt to challenges. Sometimes it could be in terms of government policies. Sometimes in terms of government policy, government changes policies. This year, Tinubu came up with this new tax law. The new tax law, most businesses didn't pick it up in time to be able to know what to do. But some wise one quickly, studied the thing, quickly adjusted, while some people are still struggling, with what they need to do. So government policies, changes in technology, environmental changes and what have you. All of these, they are things that businesses must adjust to quickly and be able to come up with it. So that is where we're going to stop for tonight. Let me know. Do you have any question? Let me see the chat. Let me see what you have in your chat. I'm finding it difficult to see this chat. I don't know why. But do you have any question? Question? Okay. You say no question. If there is no question, then please, my question is, how can small scale business, sorry, I'm not seeing this question very well. If you can unmute yourself and ask it. I'm having issue with the chat. with the chatting. I'm not seeing the question. So if you can mute yourself and okay, ask your question. I'm listening. I'm not seeing the chat. Well, so if there's any question there, can you see? I was going to read one, but I can't see I can't see it very well. So mute yourself and ask your questions. If it is, I'm having issue with all the buttons. They are not just responding. They are not responding at all. So if there is none, we call it. If there is no question, we call it a day. Ruth should get across to me. I think we just have one more class and that will be the end. As far as this class is concerned, that will be the end. We have one more class. I will conclude with this one, and that will conclude the class. So, good night, and
Thank you so much,
enjoy your
sir.
night
We
and your
appreciate
weekend.
you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Good night, sir.
Okay, good night. Good night.
Right,
Enjoy your
sir. Thank you,
night.
sir.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
Okay.